Guys, so in this video I'm wanting to do something a little bit different. I'm wanting to go over my admin work, and the first thing I do with my admin work is I figure out what sold, from the day before. You get up first thing in the morning, make a cup of coffee, get ready for the day, and then hopefully see what sold. Hopefully something sold. So let's dive in and we'll figure out what we got on here. I was doing some sourcing while I was waiting for the live to start up. So let's see. This is Seller Board, and if you guys are interested in checking it out, I do have a link in the description down below. Oh, whoops. There we go. Okay, sorry. Anyways, got a link in the description down below for Seller Board if you want to check it out. And Seller Board is not, I wouldn't say is a needed product or tool to get, but it is definitely a tool that has saved me a lot of money, because before I got this I thought I was making money, because as you can see I made 117, just like the title says. Made $117 yesterday on April 11th, but I made negative $134. So you gotta kind of look at it like that, because if you look down here, I got units sold, 1 sold, 2 sold, 3 sold, and estimated sales is right here, estimated payout, so what they're actually going to be sending me. And then right here is the most important number. Like, the payout's cool and all, that's what you're gonna get, but what you actually made is the net profit, because that takes out the cogs and everything. And this also takes out all the Amazon fees and whatnot. So down here, I'll get to those whenever we get to them. But so what Seller Board kind of does more than anything is just show you where you're at. Like, here's my month to date. I'm at a 1,588, and that sounds all great and well, but I've only really made about $200 profit, $201 profit. And it's it's the 12th, it's early in the month, but it's good to see like where you're at. Whenever I first started recording these videos, I was going full time into Amazon on the falsehood of what my sales were at, because I was making really, really good sales, but my profit was really, really bad. So what I do once I'm on here is I just take this right here, all the ones that I have sold, I'll highlight the title, and then I'll hop onto my spreadsheet. Because some people, you might think that it's a little bit of overkill, with having a spreadsheet to track everything. I probably did in 2024. Having a spreadsheet to track everything and Seller Board, but for me, I like to be able to see for the spreadsheet, it kind of shows me like when I bought it. Well, this is the purchase date, and then when I sold it. So I sold it on 4/11, or sorry, yeah, 11/25. So it took me 420 days. Nice number. It took me 420 days to sell this, and then this is the part where I'm just kind of copy and pasting. So I sold it for $49 right here. So I'm gonna put 49 right there, and then the proceeds, I'm gonna hop back over here, and then the proceeds, which is our estimated payout. So it's like the total number that we're going to be receiving from this sale, which is 3183. Hop back over, and the 31.83. And then you can see we made $20.34 on this product alone. But when we hop back over here, it'll actually say $21.34. So that's a little bit different, and the reason being is because I add this dollar right here. This dollar right here, I add that just because there's miscellaneous stuff that you don't think about that you're going to be paying for, like storage fees, paper, tape, So I just add $1 to every single product, just to cover my bases. But you can see that and with my spreadsheet, with the profit, once it's, sold and it is a positive number, it will turn green. When it's a negative number, if it hasn't sold or if I lost money on the sale, it'll stay red. So that just kind of helps me see what I got and whatnot. So there's that. And I've already put in all the cogs. As soon as a shipment comes in, I'll put in all the cogs. So let's do the next one. Vehicle design and aesthetic principles. And we'll look more into them after I update the spreadsheet a little bit, to see if we want to track them or not. Because that's the beauty in this. Whenever you're able to track them a little bit and understand, replens better. So this one we sold on 4/11, but we bought it on 7/25/2024. So it took 260 days to sell this one. Sold it for 49. What's the proceeds here? It's 34.56. 56. Boom. All right, so we made 13.92. This is going to be a lot lower than this number. 34.56, or sorry, this number 17.17 is this number, and then here we got 13.92. So that's like, why is that? Well, that's because I also have to add in my prep center fees, which is currently at $2.25, and then plus the dollar, and it brings it to $13.92. So that kind of bakes it in. Seller board doesn't account for that because seller board uses expenses. So whenever my prep center charges me, I add the expenses in there, and I'll kind of go over that here in a little bit. This one, we might either break even or lose money. What was the date? It's still 2024. Let's see here. Paste. All right, so the date, we got 4/11/25. So it took 441 days to sell this. So if it takes over a year, I kind of don't track them. Within a year, it's not too bad, but it takes over a year. It's not really a replen to me. 1980. If it takes right at a year, it's a questionable, like if the profits are good. If they're not, then it kind of, has no point in tracking it. So we got made 11.69. So yeah, we barely made any money on this. If I would have sent that in my prep center, there would have been no profit whatsoever. So, all right. Now these ones. So this one right here, I wish to be a Christmas tree. I've had this in my inventory since 2023. So I was just dropping the price. I was going through all my 2023 purchases and just trying to drop the price and just get it out of my inventory because it's dead inventory. This is a purchase I made, and back then, not really understanding what I was doing with the seasonal stuff. I dropped it down to $8. It's literally $8 right now. But someone bought it and then canceled the order, and that's why it's on here. But it has all zeros. It's all zeroed out, so it's still in my inventory. So there's really nothing I can do with that. This one, I believe, is a return that happened a while ago. So what Sellerboard does is it'll tell you that a return's happening, and it won't take the money out until the return. You actually get the return, and Amazon does the whole check-in thing and whatnot, and it probably got removed. So if we come over here, let's look at refund cost, refunded amount, variable closing, refund, referral fee, and value of returned item. So I think that means that they put it back in my inventory. So this deal is selling now, but let's check my sheet, just make sure I updated it correctly. Oh, there we go. And I have not. So whenever you get it on here, this is one of the things that Sellerboard really helps me with is the returns, helps me keep track of that. Because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't really know where the money's at, because sometimes a return will happen and it'll get reversed. They'll give you the money back because it never got returned, type of thing. So in those situations, it's hard to remember to go in and update your spreadsheet, but Sellerboard does it for you pretty easily where you're already on here, so you might as well do it. So that's that. That's what I do every morning with my Sellerboard, to just keep it updated, keep my spreadsheet updated and everything. But now for the rest of the admin work, as you can see, this is my admin work my admin work sheet, where it kind of keeps me on track to where I always keep things updated. So first things first, Sellerboard, update media purchase spreadsheet, which is what we just did. The next one is update stranded inventory. So I've always struggled with keeping my inventory in check with the stranded stuff, and now what I do, finally got it under control to where I just click price alerts. I'm clicking manage all inventory, then come into price alerts, and as you can see, I got none. I've got everything caught up, nothing's suppressed or anything, and it says 6 for some reason. I hate that. But and then if you have like stranded inventory, it'll pop up right here, and then I'd click on that if I had any stranded inventory and just fix it up, either turn it to collectible or whatever. So that one done. We don't even need to do it. eBay sales, I personally sell on eBay as well, so I just need to go in and update my spreadsheet whenever I do that. I didn't make any eBay sales yesterday, so we don't need to go into that. And then update the Prep Center spreadsheet. So something that if you're using Central Virginia Prep, they'll give you a spreadsheet like this, and every time you make a purchase that you're sending to them, you have to plug it in here. And I always like to check things in to make sure that everything's flowing. And yesterday was Friday, so I've already got all these dates checked in right here. These are the date that they got checked in at the Prep Center. So I'm looking for 4/11, and it doesn't look like we had anything check in on 4/11. So we are good there. But say I had 4/10 whenever I needed to do that. I would come in here and I'm just wanting to check it in. Just tell my spreadsheet that, I have received it. That way I can see, and you can see that I've checked it in right here at 4/10. Just pretty much copy and pasting at that point, but really helps you, keep track of what you've got checked in. And then I can come up here, and as long as this is filled out, like except for these, because these are actually sent to me, and I haven't checked them in yet, but as long as this check-in is filled out, then I know that I've received it, except for all these things, then except for those. I got a lot of those, but I know that I've received it, and I can go back, and if there is anything missing, like say this is blank, I can be like, well, what happened with this one? Where's this? Because if you don't know, a lot of products from these third-party sellers, they don't always make it to you. They don't always get to your doorstep. And if you don't keep track of what's checking in and whatnot, then you'll have an issue. Like let's look at this one. Like you can see self prep. So I have these tags whenever I make a purchase. We'll just go into this. Whenever I make a purchase, I'll either put it as self prep, which means I'm sending it to me to do the prepping myself. I'll put Prep Center to send it, say I send it to the Prep Center, and then when I do that, it'll auto populate right here with this formula that says 225. It'll auto populate over here, that 225 whenever the Prep Center's here. Or I have eBay on there, and it'll do the same thing. It won't populate, or self prep, it won't populate. But for some reason I don't have a check-in date on this one. It got sent to me, so let's see what's up with this. Did it get canceled? Did it get, did I return it? Doesn't look like it. Looks like it should be good. It does say that it has made it to me. Otherwise, it would tell me like a date it's coming. So I might have it over there, and I just didn't update my spreadsheet. I will look into that soon after this. But all the ones that aren't there or blank are all these iClickers. And I haven't checked those in yet. I just need to go through them all. And like this one. So I've identified that this is a problem. Something's up with this. I think that I remember that this got checked in. I just did a mess up. But let's view the order. No, this is refunded. So in order to keep my spreadsheet, completely updated, whenever a refund happens, probably got canceled, probably never came to my house type of thing, I'll just take out the price and shipping, the COGS, take out the quantity sold, and then take out the fees. That way it gets zeroed out. I know that whenever this is blank over here, gets auto-populated under the... Let's start it. Well, okay, we'll use this one. Over here, whenever G, whenever G is blank, whenever the COGS are blank, it means it got canceled or returned to vendor. That just auto-populates with this formula. That way I know that, it never made it to me, or I returned it, or it got canceled, something. But I don't want to completely, delete these, because I've had that issue where I'm like, well, what happened to this? Whenever I'm looking at, I don't know, my spreadsheet. Whenever I'm looking at this and I have a whole bunch, old inventory that hasn't gone out yet, and I'm like, where is that? What's going on with that? Then I'll, be able to click on my spreadsheet, look it up, and be like, oh, it must have got canceled. That's what my spreadsheet's telling me. And so that helps a lot. And that's every day for my admin work. Whenever I go through this every day, everything stays up to date with this. And that's kind of how I do it. But once a week is when I'll do what we were just doing, go through what's checked in. Once a week, I'll go through, like, these are probably here. It's the same deal with the self prep. I just need to kind of check in on them and see where they're at. But that's a once a week type of thing. I'll just go through those and see what is checked in, what hasn't, see why it hasn't, and then if I need to do a return, I do a return. But once the thing that takes the longest with this, because once you have this updated, all of these things updated, it's just, this doesn't take very long unless you have a ton of sales. That takes a little bit longer, but it won't take any more than 15-20 minutes to do all of this. This can take a little bit of time, not much usually if you stay up on top of it. Just do it once a week type of thing. And this right here is the time taker. This is what takes forever. So I've got it so where after a shipment is confirmed, like my prep center has notified me that they have created this shipment and they're sending it into Amazon, I have to go in there and I have to update all the COGS on seller board. So what that looks like is I'll come in here, I'll hit the products, and here it's like a list of all my products. Unfortunately, it has like, not unfortunately, it has this track, it keeps track of all of your inventory, the stuff that you had sold already, the stuff that's active, everything. So you want to update the COGS, I just come up here and click the COGS, and it'll filter by what's the most expensive books that I've bought, and shoes back in the day whenever I was doing that. And then so I'll hit it again with the COGS, and we're looking for 0. So all these books I got for free. I know that because I just updated it, and so all of these are good. I either got them, either was using points to buy them, or I got them for free through different means, like I used to do. But all of these were free for me, so I did. All of these COGS are 0. But whenever a shipment comes in, they kind of sporadically puts them in here for some reason, but they'll be sprinkled in here, and you'll be able to click here if it'll let me, and then update the COGS to however you want. But we're going to leave that at 0 because we didn't pay anything for that. Anyways, that's how you update that. It does take a little bit of time because at the same time, I'm wanting to update the SKUs on my spreadsheet. This is something I'm doing a little bit new. It just helps me be able to find the exact product. Like this row right here, row C, is got all the SKUs. So as I'm updating these cogs, I will also snag the SKU right here, copy it, and then throw it right in here if this was the one that we were looking at. It's not though, but I'll throw it in there just that way I have, you know, the Amazon URL, the ASIN, and my own personal SKU of where it's, you know, that way I could find it pretty easy. And then the last thing you have to do is update Be Cool, or your repricer, whatever you're using. I just like to do it now. All of this stuff right here is just to, you know, use your time now. That way later on, you're not like struggling to keep up with things, because this whole spreadsheet is just me trying to keep up with things and not having to spend a couple months, you know, fixing, you know, like a huge stranded inventory list, or fixing your, you know, your prep center sheet takes an hour or 2 hours to fix it. Rather you can just do this every day, or do this every time a shipment happens, and you can, you know, you're able to stay up on top of everything, and it doesn't take forever to do all that. So, but once the shipment does happen and you're wanting to update your Be Cool, come over here, and all of these, see how it's green, this is already taken care of, already activated. But if it wasn't, this would be red right here, and these would all be blank. And so all you're gonna do is just update the cost. Obviously, I like to come in here and like, what's my min and max price? The max price is easy for me. Max price. So a book like this, it's a little, not really selling very much book, but the max price, I'm not gonna go to like something like this ridiculous number right here, 367. It's not getting sold for that. Don't even try it. I'll look at this right here, and then I'll take 84. This is the highest it's sold for in the last year. It has sold for more, so I'll even pop it up a little more. Actually, we'll probably put this one at like 99. Just because I would try to shoot for selling it at this 84 price, because that seems to be the more likely place. I mean, I don't know. You might be able. I'd probably put it at even 130 actually, because look at this. It's getting sold up here, so you might as well try. I mean, it doesn't mean that you're gonna necessarily get it, but you want a big gap. I put it at 80. Looks like. We'll actually update that. Let's go 99 at least. But you want to make a big gap to where your repricer works. So that's how I get the max. Like, just kind of look at the max it's ever sold for, and kind of find a mid ground to put it at. You could probably put this at 130, but I'll leave it at 99. And as for the low, I got to use SellerAmp. I don't have a link in the description, but I'll put one down there. This is a great tool that helps you decide, you know, if a book is profitable or not. And it can obviously help you with your repricing, to figure out what you want to put your repricing at. So I bought this book for $20.92, and right now I got the min price at 50. So let's see what 50 brings us. So 50 brings us 67% ROI at $14 profit. I'm cool with that. This already has my prep center fee baked in and that dollar baked in, so it's a little bit, you know, different. But or not a little bit different. It's telling me the true number of what we're looking for. But, and so that's kind of where I want to see the low price. Like, if I go even lower at 40, that's just a little too low of ROI for me, a little too low of profit. And so I'll do 50, which I'm comfortable selling at that price. Even comfortable a little bit lower, but we'll keep it up a little higher right now. And if it doesn't sell for a while, then we'll reevaluate later. But that's what I do for every shipment. This right here, once a month, check pricing from 6 months ago. this is what I'm trying to get back on track. Like I said, with these, if you let them go for too long, you're spending a long time up, catching back up to where you were. And this I'm updating, but I have to start from 2023 and work my way up to this point where I'm 6 months ago. But it takes a while to do all that. So, but with the 6 months ago checking, like, for now, I'm going back to 2023, and all I'm gonna do is come through here, and I've been looking at, like, whenever it's blank, I'll look at first off, I'll look for the red. But okay, it's red. Why is it red? And then whenever it's blank, it tells me it hasn't sold yet, or something happened. So I'll go in there and see why it hasn't sold. And if there's a problem, like this one, it's red, but you can see it's filled out. So I did sell it at 11.26, but I bought it for 15 and I sold it for 14. So I lost a lot of money on that. Why is it? That's a lot of money. Let's see. Let's go back and look at this one actually. So look up 9, 10, or no, sorry, we sold it on 11/26/23. So we'll hop in here and go back to dashboard. Yeah, I don't care. And what's cool about seller board is if there's like a specific date that you're wanting to look at, you're able to easily go back. What was it? 11/23, right? Oh, wait, back here. It was 11/26. So we want 11/26/26. And it'll show me the exact day that it was sold on. And it was this evidence-based... Wait. 11/26. Did it get like removed? It's zeroed out here. Maybe it got removed. Referral fee, advertising, everything's zeroed out, so it may have got refunded. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look more into that to see. Well, let's actually do that. Let's pop this open. We'll go evidence based. We'll look at another reason why Seller Amp is an amazing tool is you're able to look back at the orders to see like how much it sold for and what it sold for on Amazon. That way, that's the end all be all. But it was a while ago, so we're probably gonna have to do custom date. We'll go all the way back. And then there. All right, so the 11/26 actually got canceled, but then we sold it for 13, even less, 13.42 on 12/1. So now we'll come back in here, and we did it on 12/1/2023, because that one got refunded or canceled. So okay, here we go. So now this is another example. The spreadsheet isn't going to be like perfectly spot on, I wouldn't say, but you can try your best to get it as good as you can. I think that's why the daily update is so important, because when stuff like this, back in 2023, I was not doing a daily update. I'll tell you right now. So I am kind of cleaning up my mess, what I had back in the day, with my other spreadsheets. My 2025 spreadsheet, it's on, but 13.42, 13.42. Just try to keep this as updated as possible. That's the sell price, and then what's the proceeds? The proceeds is $1.30 is what the proceeds are. So I mean, at least we're getting something out of it. 14.84. All right, so that looks a lot better. That 23 was a little ridiculous. All right, so so yeah, And last but not least, that's how you kind of check the pricing from 6 months ago. Just go over everything and double check everything. And then last but not least is every 2 weeks on the 10th and 25th, I do my accounting. I don't want to do my accounting like constantly all the time. So I'm only going to be looking at my accounting on the 10th and 25th, which so far it seems like, yeah, it's pretty easy to keep control of everything. My accounting consists of pay out my credit cards. I have a couple credit cards where I take care of my operating expenses and my, inventory purchases. So make sure those are zeroed out every 10th and 25th. Transfer money around in the banks. I have my Amazon deposits money in one bank, which distributes to my owner's pay, my taxes, all that stuff. And then I'll transfer that money to my operating bank, which is just where I have all my inventory money, all my operating expenses, and everything else, where I pretty much run my business off of that bank, but store money in another bank. And then I update all the expenses on Sellerboard. And sometimes I'll do that, earlier, but this is where the expenses part is. You can see, so right here is the total for March, and then everything below that is what's going on in April. Excuse me. And whenever there's one-time purchases, expenses, I guess, you will have to go in and like type it in. So we got 98, 1383. So these ones right here are kind of variable. I can't do like a monthly deal because it varies of what these Amazon Mexico charges are. So I always have to plug them in and I make it a one-time thing. But when it comes to like monthly stuff, like I pay for ChatGPT just to help me with accounting stuff. Next Insurance, $46.50 monthly. BookMine, $159 monthly. And then my accounting software is A2X and QuickBooks. Those are easy. You set them up with this monthly deal. Let's click here on monthly. Type in whatever tool it is and the cost of it, and then right down here it'll spit out your total expenses for the month so far. But I'll do that. Whenever I see an expense happen, then I'll just kind of plug it in. But every 2 weeks I will go through everything and make sure I have all the expenses on there. And then the last two is, update the accounting softwares, QuickBooks and A2X. If you want to be like on point, I'm wanting to make a video of this about like, how to stay on point with your taxes and stuff. That way tax season isn't so scary, If you want to be the most on point, you definitely need, your spreadsheet. You need QuickBooks and A2X. A2X is kind of like it pulls all your expenses from Amazon and puts them in QuickBooks. That way everything is, up to date. You can see all the Amazon fees and everything in QuickBooks. Otherwise, you have to plug it in yourself. And automation is like my key, my goal to automate everything. And, A2X will do that for you, all your accounting stuff in QuickBooks. But, QuickBooks is tough. It's hard to get a whole bunch. But what I've found is a little trick where if you guys know what ChatGPT is, it's an AI thing. I don't know accounting very well. I'm not an accountant whatsoever. But with QuickBooks, I'm able to plug in any question I have. Like, all right, I have, like a good example would be the loan that I paid off. I was taking my full payment amount and plugging that into all my accounting softwares, to Sellerboard, to QuickBooks, everything. And I was like, why is it's so much money? Like, what's going on? So I typed in ChatGPT, like, hey, how do I, account for paying back my loan? Well, come to find out, you don't do the whole charge. You just put in your interest amount. So you have to figure out what your interest amount is, and that is your expense, not you're paying back the loan, because that kind of cancels it out accounting wise. I don't really know exactly, but don't, you know, I'm not an accountant. But you know, that's just something to where like ChatGPT kind of helps me like answer those questions that an accountant would know and I would not. But that's about it, guys. Let me know if you like this video. I'm planning on doing more of these, kind of going over the admin work that I do. And that's it. Well, we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Later.